Tatum, no Kemba. So, I mean, there's kind of an excuse there, but still should have won. Otherwise, I mean, 2 days away from the draft, all the rumors are, heating up, spicing up today. And it's only going to continue over the next few days. So I'm getting more and more hyped. And also, I don't know about you, but I always have this like weird nervousness leading up to the draft. And then right when the first pick gets announced, everything kind of calms down because there's always just like that slight feeling that Trevor Lawrence won't go number one, or like last year, Joe Burrow won't go number one. And
I mean,
just that weird.
to be fair, there was the year that Baker was no one. I think there was talks
Exactly.
of Josh Allen, Sam Darnold. I think even Rosen and even Barkley. There was those were the main talking. Like Baker came out of
Hmm.
nowhere.
Hmm.
I mean, and there's also remember. I mean, Josh Allen. There's like I think a racist tweet that was found. A lot of stuff pops up on draft night that and obviously I think we all know now Josh Allen's a changed man, different guy. We're all kids and dumb. So and obviously Mitchell Trubisky too. He had the one tweet. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say it out loud,
Yeah.
but yeah, he had the one tweet. Just expressing his opinion about something. So otherwise, regardless, as I mentioned last episode, it was my mock. And I think it was like a day later. Of course, the Chiefs trade for a tackle in the first round tackle, trade the first round pick for one. Orlando Brown. We all kind of knew he was wanted out. Just kind of surprised it happened right here now. But to be honest, probably shouldn't have been. It's just that there was no precursor to this. Usually there's some precursor that teams are chatting and such. I'll throw it to you first, John. What was your opinions when you saw this, and how does it? What's your evaluation on the trade itself?
I mean, the Ravens were in a bad situation, right? They had their O line for the most part pretty much set. And then obviously Ronnie Staley goes down, and that's just thrown. Or is it Stanley or Staley? I think it's Stanley. Um,
I'll look it up. I forget.
Regardless of
I'm
what it
gonna
is,
probably mess it up. Go ahead.
yeah, I feel like I mess it up every time I do it. I think it's Stanley. Anyway,
Stanley.
he Stanley, right?
That's
Yeah.
okay. Yep.
So Ronnie Stanley, he gets hurt, out for the rest of the year, which then caused Orlando Brown Jr., who was a former third round pick, I think the same class they took Stanley. He moves over to left tackle, which he played in college, and his father was, one of the all time greats in the league. Also played left tackle, and so he said that that's what he wanted to play. That's what he wanted to be. He didn't want to go back to the right side, and he was, he felt that so strongly that he said, if you're not going to play me on the left, just trade me. And obviously, I mean, the Ravens, they're not going to play him on the left because Stanley's one of the best, tackles in the whole league. Like he's far and away better than Orlando Brown Jr. And that's no shot at Orlando Brown Jr. because he's very good. It's just how dominant Ronnie Stanley has been for Lamar Jackson and that whole offense. So, yeah, they pretty much had to trade him, and I think that getting some picks, especially a first rounder this year, I think they got good value out of him. The only thing I was questioning was why the Chiefs. I mean, that's like your chief competition in the AFC. Those are the kings right there to beat. Um, and we saw their, one true weakness last year was the offensive line issues, and they were being aggressive. They got Thuney, they got Kyle Long. They acquired some new pieces, but now you gave them a young guy. I think he's 23, 24 years old. Had a overall great start to his career so far at both tackle spots. So I mean, you gave him a franchise left tackle now, and so that's the only thing I'm a little confused as to why the Ravens traded him there. I imagine if the Chiefs were offering that sort of package, there had to be other teams that were driving up that price.
Or maybe there weren't.
So
Maybe that's was the best deal because I think Orlando Brown this is a contract year for him.
right.
So maybe that's and once again, teams we talk about leverage with the Russell Wilson stuff and the Deshaun Watson stuff before all that happened. But so we talked about leverage and the fact that it was already pretty much public that he wanted out on top of the contract year.
Right.
Maybe and it's unlike Madden. IRL, it's teams are just still lowball you third, second round. That's all they'll give you. Maybe that's all they had, and maybe they saw, hey, Kansas City's willing to give us a first, and it's a first round pick at the end. Maybe we can even trade that on the actual draft night for more assets.
Right.
Maybe that was their thought process, but so yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interject there. I just want to say that's what I
No,
think.
I mean,
That's why I
yeah,
think they ended up trading him because that was the best price.
yeah. Realistically, I think probably the game changer there was the first round pick this year. I imagine a lot of teams would maybe be willing to part with one next year, or like a second round pick this year, stuff like that. Because obviously there was other picks involved, but I think the first rounder this year, I mean, that's the most valuable pick you can get because you can use it in 2 days from now, and it's a first rounder. So, and yeah, that puts them in prime position if they want to acquire even more draft picks if they want to trade back. And we know that with a team like the Ravens, they already have a really good team, and so acquiring more draft picks, especially future draft picks over the next coming years, could be something very valuable to them. Or they could just spend it and they get two guys in the first round this year. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think it was a good deal for both sides. I was just once again a little confused as to why they went to the Chiefs, but ultimately, I mean, you take the best deal available and you put yourself in position to be the best team as opposed to try and prevent the best team from, you know, acquiring pieces. If it's a good deal for you, you take it. You don't try to look at, who's getting what other stuff on the other side. You just try to do what makes the most sense for your franchise. So yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, I think it was a good deal for both sides. I'm glad that Orlando Brown is getting his chance to play left tackle too.
Excuse me. Yes. One last thing, possibility with the two first rounds, they could also trade up. I'm not
Oh
sure.
yeah,
We heard a lot about a lot of these teams. They want to trade down. They want to trade down. Maybe they package picks and move up to the teens, and especially if a guy like maybe Devonta Smith falls because of all the quote unquote weight concerns or something of that sort, or they kind of need an edge rusher. They just lost that guy to the Patriots. I'm blanking on his freaking name.
Judon, Matthew
Judon. No, that's
Judon.
Matt Judon. Yes, and the Yannick they traded for Yannick Ngakoue, lost him too. So they need and that's a very important part of their defense is the blitzing, uh, front seven. So that's maybe that's something to factor into. But honestly, because of how late they are, I don't think they'll move up. I think like you said, they use both or they'll trade one of them for more. Um, so all right.
But I mean,
Yep.
you brought up a good point. If somebody falls, like if there's a CD Lamb type of drop last year where he's just available at a certain pick, they do have the capital to move up if they want.
Agreed. So all right. So now is the special time. Let me get it all ready.